Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm 19 years old. I went to Roosevelt High School. I'm currently in Project Search, my second year of Project Search, which is a 4+ program. It's an international program, but it's the one I'm in is in the Des Moines Public Schools. Just learning some job skills, and this is my second year.
My name's Michelle Alexander, and I'm the physical therapist for the 4+ program, as well as for all the middle and high schools in the Des Moines Public Schools. And I've been Hannah's physical therapist since she was a sophomore in high school at Roosevelt, and then have continued on with her as she's transitioned from high school to the 4+ Project Search program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you guys want to talk a little bit more about the 4+ program, or do you want to go talk a little bit before that about things that happened before that, Hannah? What do you think?
You can give a little bit
Sure.
of background about yourself, Hannah, if you want to.
Yeah.
Tell us a little more.
Yeah. I've done 3 rotations for Project Search. I'm currently in radiation oncology. Before that, I was in radiology, and before that, I was in central supply. Central supply, just picking orders for the hospital, delivering supplies to patient floors, just some of that general supply stuff. Radiology was just cleaning, taking out the soiled linens, making sure all the just general stuff is taken care of. Radiation oncology, I stock the rooms, get the warm blankets for patients. Yeah.
So Project Search, tell me a little bit about that from like the big picture point of view, Hannah. Like, how did you get involved in the project?
Yeah.
What were things that you did? Did you go right away into these rotations? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so first we have, right away in the morning, we have an hour of class time, which is, class sounds like, it's not really, it is class, but it's just working on writing resumes, interviewing, just some of those work skills. We don't get like grades or anything, but we just, then we go that's from 8:30 to 9:30, then from 9:30 to 2:30 we do one on our job sites. Then once we come back from our job sites, we kind of regroup for about half an hour and just kind of talk about just what went well, what went bad, and kind of how to fix some of those stuff. And Michelle's been a big part of that stuff too, so.
So I guess my role with Hannah in Project Search is to help her ensure, number one, that she has access to simple things like a bathroom and access around the hospital, which since it's all handicap accessible wasn't difficult. However, on her job sites, one of her first job sites while she was still in high school that I helped with was at the Science Center of Iowa. And the OT and I problem solved any of the tasks that she would be doing just to ensure that she had access to the area and that she could perform the task safely. And if she was having trouble performing the task, could we modify the task, or could we give her a piece of equipment that would enable her to be independent with that task? We also problem solved some transportation from school down to the Science Center so that she could be independent with getting there via the bus in her power wheelchair. We talked about whether or not she would use her walker primarily, or whether it would be too fatiguing, and whether she would just do all of the tasks from her power wheelchair. And then as she graduated from high school, met her requirements, that's when she moved on to Project Search, where she could learn more of those job skills. And again, a lot of the same things, but really pretty job-specific tasks that OT and myself were helping with. I remember one specific one with down in radiation oncology, and she was having some trouble reaching items from tall shelves. And we were problem solving. Do we move things down to lower shelves? Do we give her a reacher? And we did finally get the task figured out, and OT also was instrumental in helping to attach something to the back of her chair to enable her to be able to carry items from some of those rooms. The soiled lint, was it the soiled linen, Hannah, that you had to carry, that you put stuff in the basket on the back of your chair?
It was more of the supplies for the
supplies.
Yeah.
And one of the big things that came out of this was that Hannah's in a power wheelchair, but really for her to be able to perform some of her job tasks, she really could benefit from a power standing wheelchair. And so Hannah's mom was, being an OT, she was pretty on top of it and got a hold of a dealer to bring one in, and asked me if I could come and see how Hannah did in that. Hannah did great with the power standing wheelchair, which would enable her, if you think about being able to stand to get things and not have to reach from a sitting position all the time. And so it's been kind of a long process, but
Yes.
but Hannah and her family were notified not too long ago that she will be getting her power standing wheelchair, which I think is going to enable Hannah to be independent in the workforce, and also help with that transition to some more independent type living skills as well, which is another part of that 4+ program, working and living. So those have been some big things with Hannah that we've worked on.
I think Michelle's been a big part of that too, just doing the trial, and which was not the most fun thing probably for her to do, but
Oh, it was fun, Hannah.
What are some of the big takeaways or learnings that you've had from Project Search? If you were to say, oh, these are the things I've learned while doing this job, everything from skills to employability to like maybe there's a job that you like better than the others. Can you talk a little bit about
yeah, we've kind of learned just over this whole high school search, just everything here, just some of those places where I probably shouldn't be, probably should be, just, for instance, working with small children probably isn't my strengths. Just, there was a kid on the run one day, and I was trying to track him down, and that was not the best thing, but then at search, there's a lot of good things that come out of that.
Have you found one that you really like?
Oh yeah, radiation oncology that's amazing. I love doing that. They offered us a job there. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough funding for me to have a part-time job there, but we're still looking at, my next rotation will be the developmental center, the pediatric developmental center, and we're gonna see, they're actually moving to a bigger facility, so there'll be more jobs available, and so we're hoping that will be
Excellent. How many
good.
rotations do you go through, Hannah?
Typically 3.
3 a year? Or?
Yeah, 3 a year, yes.
So it gives you a lot of opportunity to sort of
Yeah,
try different things out.
Yeah, because people with disabilities can work. We're trying to just prove it to them that there might have to be some modifications, but we can do the job. We can work, and OTs and PTs can help with some of those things.
Michelle, when we talk about the different rotations, what types of other rotations? She's talked medical and at the Science Center. What other rotations are out there? people do that?
Well, with Project Search, it's based at Methodist, so they would all be the medical type rotations. But really, there's quite a few jobs that Hannah could do, but all of the rotations with Project Search are medical based. One of the things I was thinking about when Hannah was talking about the skills that she's learned, that in the beginning, when Hannah needed me or needed OT, she would have to tell one of the team members, i.e. a teacher, and they would email one of us. And as Hannah got, into her senior year and she was at Science Center, one of the things that we talked about with Hannah and with her parents was that, Hannah really needed to be an advocate for herself. And if she needed us, then she needed to be able to contact us. And so I gave Hannah my cell phone number, and when Hannah needs me to come and make a modification, she texts me and just says, "It's Hannah. Here's the situation, and here's what I need." And so that self-advocacy piece has been really big for Hannah, to be able to say, "I need help with this," or "I appreciate your help, but I don't need your help with that. I can do that on my own." So that's been a big piece, I think, for Hannah, a big skill that she has learned and she's done really well with.
Yeah, and that's part of the Project Search too, just working on that self-advocacy, interviewing, resume building, just all those work skills that can eventually help you be employed.
Hannah, how did you get involved in the program from your high school experience and transition into Project Search?
We applied for it. You have to apply, and they kind of choose you based on your needs and your attendance, and a little bit of it is your grades, and I qualified for it, so yeah.
So you can't be all work, Hannah, right? You can't be. So this is all about employment and future jobs and things like that. Are there other things that you work on?
Oh, yeah, I have a respite and SCL. That's through the Medicaid waiver. That's another thing that I really encourage the OTs and PTs to have their kids apply for the waiver. We applied for my 7th or 8th grade year, and it took 3 years to get on board with that. So, and we were just that transportation of, respite and SCL, so I don't have to be as great as mom and dad are. I don't have to be with them 24/7.
What does the respite waiver provide?
Oh,
It's a transportation.
respite is staff people can, basically friends or whoever gets paid to come just kind of have fun with me, I guess, so to speak. And then SCL is supportive community living, so working on some of those goals to, whether it's cooking or transportation or I started a club, Girls on Fire,
What's the club?
where we get together once a month to just have fun, and our tagline is fun and philanthropy. So we come and we give back to the community.
What kinds of things have you given back?
Oh, everything from canned goods to the homeless shelter, sports equipment to a nonprofit that can give it to kids that can't afford, toiletries to the Young Women's Resource Center. So it's been going on for about a year now. That's kind of in a nutshell, but.
How did you get that? Was it your idea? Did you
Yeah.
support in getting that organized?
Yeah, but it's just nice to, now that I'm not in school anymore, just a way to get some younger girls together and kind of make new friends, hang out together.
You guys have a favorite restaurant?
That's a hard one. My favorite restaurant is probably. I like Burrada's. We haven't been there for Girls on Fire, but
You have to bring them there and have a girls' night. I like Burrada's.
yeah.
You mentioned cooking. What's your favorite thing to cook?
I like those crock pot recipes are super easy to do. We haven't done a whole lot of those, but just those where you can just dump, you know.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Do you plan your own menus and what you're eating?
Oh, that's part of that SEL. We're working on doing that. Not quite yet, but eventually, yes, I will do that.
So how did you know to apply for those waivers and all that? Did your mom or your OT or your PT help you?
Yeah, we didn't think that we would, maybe Michelle can talk a little bit more about this, but we didn't think that we would need it necessarily when I was a baby, so we didn't apply for it right away, but then we kind of realized that we were a little more needy, I guess. And then, yeah, it took 3 years, but we eventually got it and we're on it, and yeah, we're awesome.
Sounds like it really fosters your independence. Like you can
Oh,
do
yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah.
Without mom or dad necessarily, which,
Yes.
like you said, as much as we love mom and dads, it's fun to have some time away. Michelle, did you want to talk a little bit more about those waivers or how that fits into the transition process?
Yeah, usually it's social workers, probably in the schools, but PTs and OTs can also suggest to parents applying for the waiver. It's a good idea because the waiting list is so long for waivers. And it does provide that respite, which is a good break for not only for the children but for parents, to be able to do just those everyday tasks that we take for granted, going to the grocery store and not having to load your kids up. Some home modifications if necessary, there's money for that. Vehicle modifications, there's money for that. And then equipment as well. And Hannah's waiver, her Medicaid, was a part of the payer source for that standing wheelchair. So that's invaluable because those pieces of equipment are very expensive. And so PTs and OTs, that we should be suggesting those things to parents. And if they don't want to, they don't want to, but at least giving them the knowledge so that they have that.